ATO and Colonel Andriy Lysenko with the updated information on what is now happening in the east of Ukraine. Good afternoon, esteemed colleagues. Today is the second day of the ceasefire regime. The intensity of military actions in most of the directions has been reduced, but at the same time, despite the Minsk agreement, the battle in the Baltevsky direction continues. Only during the last 24 hours, the militants 88 times shelled at our positions in this sector. The enemy actively uses against Ukrainian military Grad systems, tanks, artillery, mortars. According to the operational information, the bandits received from their Russian curators the order at any price to take Debaltseve and to provoke our military. With that, the militants do not allow the representatives of OSCE mission to get to Debaltseve, which is a very big violation of Minsk agreements. In Lugansk region, the enemy broke the ceasefire in Popasnyansky district. Popasna, Chernukhina, Zolotogirske were shelled at. In Mariupolsky direction, the most tense situation is near Shirokino. As of 11 o'clock on the 16th of February, the illegal armed groups did 129 shellings at the positions and checkpoints of the forces of ATO with the purpose to exhaust them and gradually to push them out of the occupied territories. We would like to stress our military opened fire only in response. The enemy continues to conduct active aerial reconnaissance. During the last 24 hours, 6 drones of enemy were registered, 3 of them near Gnutovo and Shirokino, near Mariupol. At the same time, during the last month, the system of anti-aircraft defense of the armed forces of Ukraine downed 7 drones in the western direction of the ATO zone. During the last 24 hours, in the result of the warfare, we lost 5 Ukrainian servicemen, 25 were wounded. Another so-called humanitarian convoy from Russia invaded the territory of Ukraine. Donetsk and Matveyev Kurgan cross points were crossed by 176 trucks. The note that Russian side sent to Ukraine, only 150 trucks were mentioned. Most of the trucks had the cargo of non-humanitarian nature, the fuel materials, paper, and printed products of not established content. Traditionally, the caravan was divided into 2 columns. More than 90 trucks went to Donetsk, the rest to Lugansk. Movement of this cargo was taking place violating international and domestic legislation. The Ukrainian border guards were just visually observing how these trucks were crossing the border. The representatives of the International Red Cross Committee also either did not participate in the control of this cargo. Ukrainian special services continue to eliminate the agents of the enemy. Near Mariupol, the Ukrainian border team detained the person who was making photos of the adjacent territory. The person did not have documents on him, but the binocular and photo camera were confiscated from him. The Ukrainian military demonstrated their coordination of actions and mutual support and fight with the occupants. One of the checkpoints near Gorlivka was attacked by the militants. The militants of the Battalion of Special Purpose Mirotvorets came to assist our soldiers and repelled the offense of the enemy. No one of Ukrainian soldiers, servicemen, suffered in this battle. There are several killed on the side of the enemy. They detained the weapons of the militants with the Russian marking. And our defenses are being re-equipped technically. The Ukrainian military received the armored vehicles Shrek. These armored vehicles were manufactured at the Kraz enterprise, and they have modern armor. The system of protection of Shrek allows to ensure protection from the explosion of the mine of the equivalent of 6 kilograms of trotil under any one of the wheels. Despite the difficult situation, Ukrainian military continued to help peaceful citizens. On the 14th of February, the group of coordination of the ATO headquarters delivered the humanitarian cargo to the Center of Social Psychological Rehabilitation of Children to Krasny Liman. Officers gave children the food products, warm clothes, and toys, and other things. The restoration of peaceful life in Donbass continues. From the 20th of January, the Emergency Situation Service of Ukraine examined almost 20 hectares of territory and eliminated 689 pieces of ammunition. First of all, the artillery shells, grenades, mines, cassette elements, and anti-tank grenades were eliminated. In Donetsk and Lugansk regions, the points of heating to provide assistance to people operate there. The people can get warm. They can get some warm tea and food. Also, everyone who needs can get information and psychological assistance. And also, humanitarian assistance is delivered to the citizens of pre-front towns as part of cooperation between Ukraine and German international cooperation company GIZ. The trucks with German humanitarian assistance arrived to the east. Yesterday, such a truck came to Donetsk region. Ukrainian patriots continue to support their defenders, the students and the teachers of the Philology Department of Kirovograd State Pedagogical University visited the wounded servicemen who are at the Kirovograd Military Hospital. The students brought food products and first necessity objects to the wounded servicemen. The exhibition titled Museum of Glory was opened in the volunteer center of the city of Alexandria in Kirovograd region. The exhibits are the ammunition, artillery shells, the helmets with which were hit, and so on. The planned rotation continues. The transportation militia unit from Lviv region came back from the east of Ukraine to the place of their location. For a month, the law enforcers were executing their duties in the zone of ATO. The Ukrainian servicemen were met by their colleagues and families. At the same time, the militia men from Ivano-Frankivsk region went to the east of Ukraine. Many of those will be there not for the first time. Also, another troop of Vinnytsia militiamen went to the ATO zone. Ukraine enjoys the full diplomatic support of the civilized world. The president of Ukraine, Petro Poroshenko, had a telephone conversation with his colleagues on Normandy format with the Chancellor of Germany, Merkel, President of France, Hollande, and President of Russia, Putin. The joint position of four leaders, the ceasefire has to be applied to the whole line of the actions, including the units in Debaltseva. The representatives of Special Monitoring Mission of OSCE and the General Secretary of UN, Ban Ki-moon, also call upon all the sides to observe the ceasefire without any exceptions. The President of Ukraine had telephone conversation with the Prime Minister of Great Britain, David Cameron, who David Cameron said to the head of Ukrainian state that Britain is ready in the future to ensure the unity of European Union as to the sanctions against Russia if Minsk agreements are not observed. Today, in the official review of European Union, the new package of sanctions against Russia was published and became effective. The blacklist is added by 19 physical and 9 legal entities for actions which put to threat the territorial integrity, sovereignty, and independence of Ukraine. This list includes the separatist organizations, illegal armed groups, famous members of banned groups, the members of State Duma of Russian Federation, and the representatives of the generals of Russia. They incriminated the participation in deploying Russian troops in Ukraine. This way, the European Union officially recognized the invasion of Russian army into our state.
Liganet, could you please explain more about the situation around Debaltseva, specifically about battalion number 40? Official information is that all possible assistance and aids is supplied, but volunteers inform that there is no sufficient assistance coming to this location. Today, this morning, we had a briefing from the General Staff representative. I have nothing to add to his information. I understand that all the volunteers, Ukrainian clergy, Ukrainian people, they care very much about what's going on in Debaltseva, and we hope that assistance will arrive on a timely basis. Whether Ukrainian forces are ready to withdraw heavy artillery equipment from the delineation line, and what will be the procedure. The obligatory condition for withdrawal of heavy artillery is compliance with item first of Minsk agreements. This is complete ceasefire. And unfortunately, we haven't reached complete ceasefire, and that is why we cannot withdraw heavy artillery. Nevertheless, we have prepared special spots, special locations where this heavy artillery could be withdrawn from the delineation line, but there is no ceasefire yet. Lazarchuk, 1+1 TV channel, with the possibility of the military, of the war status decision is discussed, and what is the possibility that this status may be introduced. We will inform you as soon as we know any news about this. In line with the legislation, this status could be introduced in 3 stages. First of all, the National Security and Defense Council has to submit to the President a special request. Then the President has to issue a special decree about establishing the war status. Then it has to submit there's a decree to Verkhovna Rada, and Verkhovna Rada has to approve it. The major objective of introducing this martial law is to transform all the economic and other resources of the country in a situation when it will be able to fight. One more question from Ukraine TV channel. As far as I heard, there should be a meeting in the general staff. And will you please, the second question, will you please show on the map the delineation line? I cannot show it on this map because it is full of signage, and I cannot show you. But it will comply with Minsk agreements. As for the meeting in the general staff, I have no information about this. Thank you very much. Next briefing.